The autumn afternoon was golden as Alexander Hayes sat alone on a park bench, staring at his phone without really seeing it. At 39, the millionaire investment banker had mastered the art of looking busy while feeling completely empty. His morning had been filled with meetings about money that meant nothing, and his evening would be spent alone in a penthouse that felt more like a museum than a home. He was about to leave when a small voice interrupted his thoughts. "Mister, this is for you." Alexander looked up to find a little girl standing before him, maybe 5 years old, with blonde curly hair catching the sunlight. She wore a pink dress and clutched a worn teddy bear in one arm. In her other hand, she held out a single yellow flower, a dandelion she'd apparently picked from the grass. "For me?" Alexander asked, surprised. The little girl nodded seriously. "You look sad. Flowers make people happy. That's what Mommy says." Alexander found himself taking the flower, something warm and unexpected stirring in his chest. "Thank you. That's very kind." "You're welcome," the girl said. Then she smiled, a gap-toothed grin that lit up her whole face, and skipped away toward a woman sitting on a blanket nearby. Alexander watched her go, this small child who'd seen a stranger's sadness and decided to fix it with the flower. He looked down at the dandelion in his hand, and for reasons he couldn't explain, he stood up and walked toward the woman and child. The woman looked up as he approached, and Alexander saw she was young, maybe 30, with the same blonde hair as her daughter. She wore simple clothes and had kind eyes that held both warmth and wariness. "Excuse me," Alexander said. "Your daughter just gave me this flower. I wanted to say thank you." The woman smiled. "That's Lily. She has a habit of giving flowers to people she thinks need them. I'm sorry if she bothered you." "She didn't bother me," Alexander said. "She brightened my day." "I'm Alexander." "Rebecca," the woman replied. "And you've already met Lily." Lily waved from where she was arranging more dandelions in a pattern on the blanket. "Hi again, mister. Do you feel happier now?" "I do, actually," Alexander said, and realized it was true. "May I sit for a moment?" Rebecca gestured to the blanket, and Alexander sat, feeling oddly out of place in his expensive suit among the dandelions and teddy bears. "Lily picks flowers for sad people," Rebecca explained. "It started after her father died 2 years ago. She was only 3, but she understood he was gone. A neighbor gave her flowers at the funeral, told her they were to help her feel better. Now Lily gives flowers to anyone she thinks is sad." Alexander felt his throat tighten. "I'm sorry for your loss." "Thank you," Rebecca said. "It's been hard, but we manage. Lily's resilience amazes me every day." "Why did you think I was sad?" Alexander asked Lily. Lily looked up from her dandelions. "Because you were sitting all alone looking at your phone, but you weren't really looking at it. You were looking at nothing. That's what Mommy does when she's sad and trying not to cry." The observation was so accurate, so painfully insightful, that Alexander didn't know what to say. "Children see things adults try to hide," Rebecca said gently. "Were you sad?" Alexander found himself being honest in a way he rarely was with anyone. "Yes. I was thinking about how I've spent 20 years building a career and making money, and I have nothing to show for it except an empty apartment, and no one to share any of it with." "That does sound sad," Lily said matter-of-factly. "You should get a family. Families make people happy." "Lily," Rebecca said gently. "Not everyone has a family, but everyone should," Lily insisted. "You have me, and I have you, and we're happy, even though Daddy's in heaven. Mr. Alexander should have people too." Alexander felt tears sting his eyes. "I used to have people, a wife, but we divorced 5 years ago because I worked too much. Parents, but they passed away. I have colleagues and business partners, but no one who cares if I'm sad." "Well, I care," Lily announced. "That's why I gave you a flower. Now, we're friends, and friends care about each other." Over the next hour, Alexander sat with Rebecca and Lily in the park. Lily showed him her collection of dandelions, explained which ones were the happiest flowers, and made him promise to keep his flower in water so it wouldn't be sad. Rebecca told him about her life, working as a nurse, raising Lily alone, struggling to make ends meet, but finding joy in the small moments. She spoke about her late husband with both sadness and love, about the life they'd built and lost too soon. "I should let you go," Alexander said finally, though he was reluctant to leave. "But I wonder, would you and Lily like to have dinner sometime? I'd like to repay her kindness." Rebecca hesitated. "That's not necessary. Lily gives flowers free, not for payment." "I know," Alexander said, "but I'd like to spend more time with you both. If that's okay." Rebecca studied his face carefully. "Why?" "Because in 1 hour, your daughter has shown me more genuine kindness than I've experienced in 5 years," Alexander said honestly. "Because you've reminded me that connection matters more than money. Because I don't want to go back to my empty apartment and pretend I'm fine being alone." Rebecca was quiet for a moment, then nodded. "Okay, dinner would be nice." Over the following weeks, Alexander became a regular part of Rebecca and Lily's lives. He met them at the park, took them to dinner, attended Lily's school events. He found himself looking forward to Lily's stories and Rebecca's laughter in ways he hadn't anticipated, and he started to change. He left work at reasonable hours, turned down weekend business trips, prioritized time over money. His colleagues noticed, but Alexander didn't care. For the first time in decades, he was choosing life over career. One evening, after Lily had fallen asleep during a movie at his apartment, Rebecca and Alexander stood on his balcony looking at the city lights. "I need to tell you something," Alexander said. "I'm falling in love with you." Rebecca turned to him, surprise and something else in her eyes. "Alexander, no, it's fast," he continued. "I know I'm probably not what you're looking for. I'm a workaholic millionaire with no family and a failed marriage. But you and Lily have changed me. You've shown me what matters. And I don't want to go back to who I was before Lily gave me that flower." Rebecca's eyes filled with tears. "I'm falling in love with you too. But I'm scared. Lily's already so attached to you. If this doesn't work out, if you decide this life isn't what you want, she'll be heartbroken. Then I won't let it not work out," Alexander said simply. "Rebecca, I've spent 20 years chasing success and ending up empty. These past weeks with you and Lily, I've felt more alive, more myself, than I have in decades. I don't want to lose that. I don't want to lose you." He took her hand. "I know I can't replace Lily's father. I'd never try. But I'd like to be part of her life, part of your life. If you'll let me." Becca wiped her tears. "Lily asked me yesterday if you were going to be her new daddy. I told her I didn't know. She said she hoped you would be because you're not sad anymore when she sees you." "She's right," Alexander said. "I'm not sad anymore. Because of both of you." 6 months after Lily had given Alexander a dandelion in the park, he stood in that same spot with Rebecca and Lily. It was spring now, and real flowers bloomed everywhere. But Alexander held a dandelion. "Why are you holding a flower, Mr. Alexander?" Lily asked. "Because I want to give it to someone," Alexander said, kneeling down. "Lily, 6 months ago, you gave me a flower because you thought I was sad. You were right. I was very sad and very lonely. But your flower and your kindness changed my life." He handed her the dandelion. "This is to say thank you, and to ask if you'd like me to be part of your family. Not to replace your daddy, but to be someone who loves you and your mommy very much." Lily took the flower carefully. "Does this mean you're going to marry mommy?" "If she says yes," Alexander said, pulling out a ring box and turning to Rebecca. "Rebecca, will you marry me? Will you let me spend the rest of my life making you and Lily as happy as you've made me?" Rebecca nodded through tears. "Yes, 1,000 times yes." Lily cheered and threw her arms around Alexander's neck. "Now, you're not sad anymore, and you have a family. Flowers really do make people happy." Alexander held both of them close. This family he'd found through a simple act of kindness in a park. He thought about the man he'd been 6 months ago, sitting alone on a bench, drowning in success, but starving for connection. A 5-year-old had seen his sadness and given him a flower, and in doing so, she'd given him everything that mattered: love, family, and a reason to come home. If this story reminded you that the smallest acts of kindness can change lives forever, please give it a like and share it. Subscribe for more heartwarming stories about unexpected connections. Leave a comment about a time when a small gesture led to something beautiful.